so much soul. About to bust out the room. All different flavors, way more than 32. From these shoes, you can't mess with these dudes. Nike Reeboks, about soccer knees. Golden Gooses on dudes, it's crazy. Converse can laugh, make life easy.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Soul Brother, hosted by yours truly, Flexx Luthor. And today, guys, we are blessed with a guest. What's up? What's new? And how you feeling, my guy?
I ain't got no complaints, man. What's going on? I'm Mo. Glad to be on the show, man. I love chopping it up with you, man. So I'm glad to be a part of the show and ready to dig into some topics today. So thank you for having me on.
I like it, man. As I always like to start an episode with, you letting the guests know I appreciate your time, taking time out your day to hop on the pod, man. Time is something that we don't know how much we got of. So when someone provides me with some, I'm always appreciative.
Absolutely.
So, this ain't your first time here, man. This is more of a follow-up episode, man. This ain't your first time here, man. But so welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me back. That means I must not have bombed too bad the first time you had me back, so I appreciate it.
A few changes, but still the same pod. Same pod.
Hey, like I said, look, you elevating, so it's all good, my friend. All good.
Yes, sir. But before we get too deep into it, we'll start with what's on feet. So what pair did you pull out today?
Man, so let me tell you, I'm back on this running kick. I'm training for a 10-mile race. So actually today I went to a running store, picked up a pair of Brooks Adrenaline. I don't have them with me, unfortunately, but I picked them up at the store today, immediately put them on, put 3.5 miles on them today. Felt amazing. So yeah, nothing sexy and exciting, but definitely comfort and performance. So yeah, the Brooks Adrenaline are what I put on feet today. New pickup as well.
I like it, man. I like it. Shout out to Brooks, man. Brooks is killing it, man. Shout out to Peter over there. He's doing his thing, getting them pairs out, man. I'm seeing them things everywhere. So yeah, he's definitely getting the job done with those.
I agree. Loving them Brooks, man. If it comfort, that's all. That's predominantly mostly what I run in, man. Like I don't deviate away from that for nothing. They are just best for me as far as performance wise when I run, especially like 10 miles. So love them.
I like it. I mean, I've never really did like a distance. I mean, I've done a 5K before, but like I don't really. When I run, I'm not training to like do long runs. It's more of like sprints. Smart. Like the longest I've done was, like I said, was a 5K, and I bombed that. I didn't beat the time that I wanted to beat, but
okay,
hey,
it
look, is what it is.
You a smart man. Stay away from the long running. Sometimes it's not friendly on the joints, but I love a challenge, so it's all good.
Believe me. Hey, look, I'm that same way, man. I'm one of those. I wanna stay young forever. So, man, that times up. Whenever somebody like, hey, you want to race? All right, let's do it. So, I'm a country boy, man. So I run barefooted. I don't take my socks off, but I do run barefooted. So
I'm gonna let you have that, man. I need some cushioning. I'm a big man. I need some cushioning.
That's what I'm doing, like sprint races. Now, if I'm doing 5K, now I'm putting shoes on.
Oh, okay, I got
you. For sure. Nah, that's crazy. Nah, that'd be crazy.
Nah, I got you.
But what I went with today is the Levi 3s in the black colorway. Got these for a steal. I think I shipped, taxes and all. I think it was like $115. So nice. Yeah, I got these for a steal, and I seen them on sale. I was like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and get those. And I always take advantage of it when it's like an authorized retailer.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't checked out the market on those.
Okay.
But I know they wasn't too crazy. But once I seen those, coming directly from a retailer, I was like, nah, I'd rather do that. No fees, no seller fees, no, are they real, are they fake? Are they used, are they not used, damaged box, all that extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was able to grab those. Glad to have those first Levi collaboration in my collection.
Nice. Nice.
The terrible thing about it is I gotta complete the pack now. That's the only thing I hate about getting a shoe as part of a pack. I gotta complete the pack. So
you're trying to get the other 3 pairs?
Always.
Oh,
absolutely,
man.
I'm head hunting.
I'm gonna live through you, my friend.
I like it. So we came back to revisit the Unboxed app. So for the people that are not familiar with the app, give us what it's used for. Just an overall description of the app.
So the way I kind of look at it is I don't really look at Unboxed as an app. I kind of look at it as a community or a tool. And essentially that tool helps you give you intel about your collection. So it allows you to organize so you can quickly see what's in your collection. You can track your wear so you can see make sure things are getting on rotation more frequently. We do, we do some light push notifications, restock alerts, nothing too heavy, but something, to kind of help people get more pairs in their hands. We have it to where when you guys pick up those, that fresh pair, we have like a share card, a Coptum card that you can share on social media. So you can kind of brag about what you recently picked up. You can friend request people and take a look at what's in your friends' collections. You could get the total value of what your collection's worth. So, and you can share that out as well if you kind of want to brag or if you kind of just want to use it for insurance purposes. But yeah, essentially, it's just a tool to really give you intel and insight into your collection, help you make some choices, whether you want to hold some pairs, get rid of some pairs, things like that. So we're just trying to give the people something that allows them to kind of look at their collection in a different light. So that's essentially what we're doing.
I like it, man. One of the things that I thought was unique about the Unbox app was the receiving the friend request or sending a friend request, and then you can actually look at the collection of whoever you just accepted that request from. I thought that was pretty dope. I've always tried mentioning people the people that have these types of apps should include that type of like community environment where you can chat, create friend requests, profile, a sneaker place for sneakers. Just all things sneakers. So I thought that was a unique thing, just being able to look at other people's collections from a distance.
I agree. We got pushback in the beginning, or
really?
Because, people kind of feel they worry. But ultimately I feel like it kind of helps. It helps kind of orchestrate that community feel, right? Like you can just kind of, I'm like Tom from MySpace, right? So most of the people, when they come onto the platform, we become friends. So, when new people come on, I'm going through and I'm taking a look at their collection. And as I interface with other users, I encourage them to do invites and just to kind of look at what I got and let me see what you guys got. And that sparks up conversation. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't really look at it as somebody's about to break into my house, but how can we, create communication based on a passion that we all have, So, yeah. So I would
have been more concerned about the value rather than like what pairs I have, because not everybody knows like what pair it is. You know what I'm saying? Like they may see the Ben 7s, they may see some the Cos 4s and be like, oh, those are some nice gray shoes, or oh, those are some colorful shoes, but they don't really know the value of them. But seeing the value is a different thing. It don't matter if you know the shoes, and I was like, oh, that's worth a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It just all depends. I kind of equate to there's no different than, when you're posting, when most people are posting all their pickups on Instagram, right? And that's a much bigger audience than Unboxed. So it's like you can in one instance say, hey, I want to post all my pickups on Instagram, but then I'm afraid to open up my collection on, our platform, which has, much less visibility than an Instagram or a Twitter or whatever, or X or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it, but it opens up good conversation.
For sure. So before the app actually existed, like what was the problem, as a sneakerhead that you were having that this app was created to fix?
So before I really got into front drop boxes, and I'm looking at your background, I had all these different boxes and they were just stacked on top of each other. And it was just a matter of that one particular time I was trying to find a red and white pair of shoes, right? And all I'm doing is, and I'm just going through boxes. I'm going through boxes trying to find a white and red pair. And then I finally find a white and red pair and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear this. Well, then fast forward like 2 or 3 weeks later, or whatever that time frame is, I come across another white and red pair that I forgot I had that I would have rather had worn. And I'm just like, this is just getting out of hand. So what I did was I created a spreadsheet in Excel and I had the same information that's in Unboxed, the style number, the name. I was cutting out stock images and I'm putting them in Excel. but most times we're on our phone nowadays, and that just got too tedious. And so I just kind of said, there's got to be something that exists out there that does this. It really wasn't. There was one app that kind of did it, but it was tracking other items as well. So they weren't really keeping up with it. And then at that point, I just kind of started putting something on paper and saying, okay, here's what I'm imagining it would look like. I'm probably not the only person with this problem because there are people who have much bigger collections. So I just kind of sketched it out. And then I circulated the concept in a couple of communities I was in. And it was like something that a lot of people saw benefit in. And then once I kind of got that feedback from the community, it was like, okay, this is something that I need to build. So it just started as a personal pain point, and then it was something that other people pain point they have, and then kind of went from there.
So what was it like, having that idea come to life? Actually being able to launch the app.
Scary. you would think you'd be excited, man. It's just like it's scary because just because you circulate this concept to a couple of communities and you get about 30, 40, 50 people to say, yeah, you don't really know how well received it's going to be when it's to a bigger audience, and so a lot of times most of us we're afraid to fail. So that's creeping in your head. Like, what if I just spent all this money and time on this concept and I built out this, this app, and then I share it and it doesn't get there. It's not well received. Right. So it's just, it was just more scary than anything. It took a while before I really got excited and said, man, I actually got an app. But yeah, it was terrifying to launch.
Yeah. Nah, it's always that I feel like just off of when you're posting a picture or you're tweeting something, it's kind of like, dang, how is this gonna be received?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, putting a product out there for someone to use or pay for. It's kind of like, are they gonna pay for this? Are they gonna want to use it? Does this even matter? Do people even care? Because I feel like a lot of people, kind of hype the idea up while you're talking about it, like, oh man, that's gonna go crazy, bro. That's gonna go crazy. And you're like, oh man, I'm finna kill it. And then you launch the app, and it's just like, oh yeah, I did say it was gonna be crazy, but so here's what I really think. Yeah, because it's just. I had that same thing happen when I had Art and Rick on, the founders of East Bay. Okay. And I knew the episode was in works. I had been talking to him for a while, and so I was just kind of testing the water, testing the temperature. And I'm like, oh, so everybody loves East Bay. How do y'all feel about this? How you feel about this? Well, and everybody's, oh yeah, East Bay was the start of my journey. East Bay is a classic. There is no sneaker culture without East Bay. East Bay is sneakers. I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna go crazy. Right. So I'm talking to them, and I can talk about it now because ain't nothing form of it. Okay. But I'm talking to them, and they pretty much asked me like, how do you think it would be received if like the East Bay magazine was relaunched? And I'm like, oh, people would love that. Like, let's go. Like, everybody's talking nostalgia, vintage. I mean, I'm saying, shout out to East Bay Archive, but like, there's a page dedicated to the magazine, and everybody follows it. And like, this is like that's like I think he has like over 100,000 followers. I'm like, oh, people are gonna love this. Like this, people are literally following a page of what it used to be. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. So to bring it back, even if it's a one-off of, every once a month, something like that. So I'm like, all right, I'll start the conversation. Okay. So like, I'm thinking, I'm going there like a superhero. Like I got you guys. Don't you worry. I'm gonna put this on my back, and we're gonna get this thing restarted. Right. Yeah. Nah. Everybody like, yeah. Nah. Yeah, technology's too far ahead. Who would want an East Bay? Nah, it doesn't have the reach. I'm like, really? Like, interesting. Really? Y'all really don't want the East Bay magazine back? I'm just like, interesting. Yeah, nah, it wouldn't fit in today's time. I'm like, oh, while we're bringing back vinyls, while we're bringing back vintage clothing, vintage gaming, it doesn't fit in today's time. Right. All right. I said, okay. Maybe I wasn't the right messenger for it. I don't know, but it wasn't received well. And I was like, all right,
That's a
Boom.
surprise, honestly, because I mean, the thing is, like, we still buy, like, I'm looking at right now, like, I got all these different books, sneaker books, and all these other things. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, even if it's not like something that I'm reading monthly, it's like I look at it as like collection pieces, like somebody
Mm-hmm.
who can appreciate it and who had and loved Eastbay. Like, I would
Mm-hmm.
love to have those collection pieces and still, like, flip through the pages and just kind of see like what's out there. Like, I used to love that feeling. So I'm kind of surprised, especially to your point, with all this nostalgic stuff coming back, how it's just like, nah, that's not a good thing. Like, I know things are digital and technology wise, but
Mm-hmm.
some things, like, you still have people, you have ebooks, but you still have people who are just like, nah, I need the actual book because I like to
Yeah,
flip
for
through feel the
sure.
pages. So I feel like you'd have an audience who would still appreciate the actual catalog. So I'm very surprised on that, but I'm like you. Like, if I had the opportunity, yeah, I'd take one of those once a month, something like that. Sure.
Why not? So maybe a 12 out of 12, 1 year only
Yeah.
anniversary, just a celebration of East Bay and what it was.
Yeah.
But
Hey, don't stop, man. Look.
oh
No,
no, I'm still cooking up something, man.
okay.
Don't you worry, because
Yeah.
I know, again, I know how people are, and at that moment they just kind of
Yeah.
just how they're just their first perception of it,
Yep.
and then you got to have the right person that co-signs, and then all of
Right.
a sudden it's that's crazy. It's an innovative idea. I love that. That's
Right.
fire. We need that. Let's keep doing it. So I know how the game go.
Yeah.
But was there ever a time where you wanted to give up on the idea of Unboxed app?
Flex, man, let me tell you. Look, I've been doing this 9 years, and I kid you not, I'm getting talked off a ledge probably every 6 months for the idea, and the thing is, it's like, it's one of those where I kind of tell myself, most times when you launch something, you're looking for
Mm-hmm.
that instant gratification. And when you don't get it, it can be disheartening. But you kind of got to look back. I think a lot of things, that's why I think it's good when people kind of share their stories, because all we see a lot of times is the success, but we don't know how long it took to get there. Like, you look at like a Mr. Beast, for example, and people probably think he's overnight success, and it took him like what, 7, 8, 9 years, and then he had to he put together a little manual of how he got to where he was. Stuff like Amazon wasn't profitable for 9 years. Lyft or Uber, 15 years. So it's one of those things where I kind of got to tell myself, okay, I'm not where I want to be now, but it's just a matter of time. As long as we continue to keep up with things and pivot and and push forward, we're going to hit that point. So I will say it was probably like 6 months ago when when I was like, I just wanted to give up, and then I had to have a conversation with my partner, and we just wound up getting on with Nike with affiliate links. And so, we generate revenue from that, and we negotiated a good percentage. And, it's just, and the thing is, sneakers are continuously changing. Like, if you look at a lot of these businesses who geared it all around resale, a lot of them are going out of business because that's changed. So we've had to continue to pivot. And, unlike a lot of other apps and things who are having issues or are out of business, we're still here. Like, maybe we're not this giant global app like some of these other ones, but we're continuing to steadily grow because we're pivoting and doing things that, our users want. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm always wanting to give up because, I want that gratification. But, when I get people who reach out and say things like, oh man, I found this app and it's great and da da da, it's like that continues to push me forward. Like, you know what? Some people see the value in this. So it's like, let's just keep going and see where this goes.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely that battery in the back, fuel to that fire when it's just that one person.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just that one person you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for you.
Yep, exactly.
I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna keep going for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So yeah,
makes a difference.
I appreciate those people when I get hit up and I'm like, oh man, that was a great episode. That was a great conversation. I look forward, seeing episodes drop and who you have on and conversation you have. So
Yeah, man.
with the Nike affiliate links, I know I had seen maybe about 3-4 months ago that Nike was trying to withdraw the links, or how I think it was the process. Did that affect you guys at all?
At this point, it hasn't. I know we've actually had a couple conversations with them about some
Hmm.
stuff. As of right now, things seem to be going pretty well. We haven't been affected as of yet, but I think
Hmm.
that, it works out because, you have, there are other platforms who are also pushing out links. So, I mean, it expands their reach. So it doesn't really make sense to pull those links.
Uh-huh.
Unless there's something that they're trying to do that I'm unaware of. But as of right now, we're still, pushing out links when of things that we feel our customers want, right? That's why
Hmm.
I say when we push out stuff, it's kind of on a smaller level because we're able to sit here and look at, clearly we get access to everybody's collection. So we see what people are buying, we see what people are wearing, and that allows us to cater what we're pushing out. So we're
For
not
sure.
pushing out 50 links like some other platforms may be doing. Ours is very catered to our niche market of, users, and that's what we push out. So, but yeah, we haven't been affected as of yet. Hopefully it's nothing that does affect us, but if not, we just gonna pivot again.
I like it. Is there a feature that you've been getting from like customer feedback that people want, but you're just like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing that.
We got a couple, yeah. One thing that we get a lot of are people wanting to be able to add their own shoes in, kind of like a
Mm.
My Fitness Pal. So you come across a shoe that's not in your collection and they can't add it in, they want to have the ability to add it in themselves. And maybe at some point down the line, it is something that will entertain. But right now, the thing is, there are so many other things that we have going on that we feel are priority that we don't have the time and money to invest in that. And we're just not a big enough team to where we could kind of make sure we're looking over stuff. So, I mean, who knows? If we give you people the ability to just add stuff in, who knows what they might be uploading onto the platform, and without enough eyes to kind of check through that, it could be a rigorous process that we just don't have time for. So, as of right now, it's one of those, if you want something added, send it to us. We'll get it added in
Mm.
for you. But as of right now, we get a lot of people that want to do it on their own, and we're just a little reluctant right now.
How often do you get those requests of like a pair that may not be in the database?
Every day.
Every
Every day. Yeah. And the thing is Flex, because, you know, we're capturing, and I'm gonna say this, like our database is probably bigger than anybody else's. I know for a fact it's bigger than a StockX. I know for a fact it's bigger than Goat. It's bigger than Flight Club. It's bigger than Stadium Goods. But the thing is, it's like everybody's collection is so different, right? Like you have some people who will have collections of stuff that you wouldn't even believe that they're into, right? And those are the things that aren't being captured on other platforms. So when we get these requests, we're uploading shoes pairs that I've never even seen before from brands that I'm not very familiar with, or even brands that I am familiar with, but I never knew this shoe existed. So every week, every day, somebody's coming in. Matter of fact, I got 3 that came in earlier today. Like, hey, can you get these added in? A pair of Spizikes, and it was a couple other ones that weren't added in there. So we're getting them pretty frequently, but for the most part, we do a pretty good job of capturing most stuff. But
hmm.
like everybody's collection's unique, so some of those unique pairs just slip through the cracks. Somebody asked me 2 days ago to add in a pair of Yeezy boots off his site. I gotta add them in. Like it's not my cup of tea, but if that's what you as a user wear and you're tracking it, I gotta add it in for you. So yeah, so it's pretty often. It's pretty often.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you think it is to build software for sneakerheads?
Woo. I would
We're a picky
say,
bunch.
yeah, that's the thing. Look, sneakerheads will pay money on sneakers. They will not pay for anything around sneakers unless it's a fit. Is they'll pay for sneakers and fits, but
Yeah.
software, anything like it is hard pressed for them to see the value in it. So I would say, man, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say probably like an 8, because you have to
Hmm.
really tap into a couple things. It either needs to be a product that is giving them a substantial opportunity to acquire footwear for retail,
Hmm.
or it's got to have something that is generating such a strong community feel that you have to be a part of that. If you're
Yeah.
not hitting on a couple of those things, it's very tough in the software space to kind of get sneakerheads to gravitate towards it. So they either want to talk and we talk about, different things, or they want to buy. And if you're not scratching one of those itches, it's just kind of like, what's the value? Just like I think I told you before, we had insurance. We were the first sneaker dedicated insurance on the market. No deductible. We covered your shoes, not the retail value, resale value. Before we launched it, everybody's like, "Oh, that's great! I'll pay for it." The minute we put the product out, we ain't get a whole. We got a decent amount of people, but nothing that was scalable or sustainable. Because at the end of the day, people will spend the money to buy the shoes. They don't want to pay to protect it. And some people got collections that are worth mortgages, or not mortgages, worth a house.
Houses.
But they don't want to. They don't want to pay to protect it because their mindset is, "Oh, nothing's happened, or nothing will happen, or nothing's happened to me yet, or da 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 da," and they just don't want to. So yeah, software for sneakerheads, yeah, because like I said, fits and kicks they'll pay for, but software, nope.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things. It's I don't know. It's like unmarked territory when you're trying to create a product for sneakers or something that revolves around it.
Right.
Just getting the people to just justify buying more than sneakers. Even if it's like a pen or a stick or a shoe tree or cleaning product, drop front boxes. It's all. Because I think what the dilemma is when someone with a large collection, I'm just thinking of myself personally, with a large collection, you're going to do that however many pairs you have.
Right.
So if I have 500 pairs, that's 500 drop front boxes.
Yeah.
That's 500 stickers.
Yeah.
That is maybe 20 to 30 bottles of cleaning. That's 20 or 50 brushes.
Right.
That's, I don't know how many things of paint. Because last I checked, it was like they sell paint like this small. You're not getting a large thing of paint. So like, I think that's what people think of, especially with people with large collections.
Yeah.
I feel like it's someone that's just starting out. It's a little simpler because I'm like, I can buy one every time I buy this.
Yep.
Cool. But like when you're already sitting on 400 or 500 pairs and you're like, oh, that is nice. But now I got to do that 500 more times. And I want these 17s that's dropping. And I want these Sauconys that are dropping. So I think that's just that dilemma. Because that was definitely my dilemma when it came to the drop front boxes. Shout out my guy Bobette every day. Those are like, he was the only person I'm like, yeah. If I'm going to buy it, it's definitely going to be his product. If I'm going to use it, it's going to be his product. Other than that, I would have never used it. Other than that, I mean, that's just me, honestly. I would have never, if he wouldn't have delivered that product like he did, and then just being a personable person,
right,
then it would have been like, I have no use for this. It's just like, because that's an expensive thing to do. You 500 pairs and you doing 19 times 500 in a box. Oh man, you buying your whole shoe collection over. It's like so I feel like that's the dilemma. So it's just, I guess you just gotta get creative and like, all right, this is the product, and how you deliver it is how. What's a feature that you guys offer that may be a little more complex to sustain than people understand?
I would say, like the collection. Well, I could touch on something that we did at one point. You know what? That's what I will touch. I'll touch on something that we had at one point. And we don't do it anymore. That's another story. Where we were trying to bring AI into the app and have it where AI, based on shoes you had in your collection, it would tell you what type of fits that you could wear with the kicks that you have. Or if you had, like, let's say a top that you want, because most times it's the top that you're trying to match with the bottoms or a hat, right? So you could take a picture of the top that you wanted. It would look at it, and then based on, it'll go through and scan your collection, and it'll give you some things that match best with that top. And then you could kind of dig further in. So we were trying to integrate that AI piece in there. That was pretty tricky. And some people had asked for it, but it was one of those where just the cost and everything that was involved, it's just like, we don't know. Sometimes I think we've been ahead, you know, a little. Sometimes it's good to be the first to something, and sometimes it's not, right? And that's one of those things. I think we might have been a little ahead of the curve there. But yeah, that was something that we were trying to do at one point that was very, very tricky. And it's something we may look at to do again. But it needs to be something that we think is going to add value to you guys, right? When we build this out, it's not what we want. It's how can we add value to our users, the community. And if they don't see any value, there's no point in taking the time to build it.
And is there a feature that you felt like that the users wouldn't really gravitate to that they are using?
Yes. The collection value. I was surprised at that. So the only reason we had the collection value even in the app is because we were offering the insurance product. So when we did the collection value and the insurance, first of all, we started out on iOS. Then when we came to Android, we were like, well, we're not even going to build that collection value piece in because it was only for the insurance offering and we weren't offering insurance by that time. I couldn't tell you how many times people messaged me or were leaving negative reviews like, oh, I'm disappointed. I got the app and they don't have the collection value like it is on iOS and da-da-da. And I'm sitting here like, why do you want to know the collection value? Like what value does it add? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if me as a person, I don't see a value in it. It matters of what the masses are saying. So if the masses are saying we want a collection value, as a business owner, I'm gonna give you a collection value. So we wound up building that out, and that definitely calmed the noise. And then we gave people the ability to share out their collection value because we've seen people, they were taking screenshots and sharing it. But then now we give people the option to where you can just share it out if you want. So that was one of those where I didn't think it would do much of anything. And it turned out it was one of the biggest things that people gravitated towards.
Tell you one thing people love doing, that's flexing. That one thing people love, no matter who you are, what your character is, even if you're a subtle flex person, it's still, nice to, put something on, people kind of like, oh, okay, I see you. You have that little, that little niche group that kind of know what you have on and other people don't know what you have on. It's just like, you don't know you're in the room with a certified forklift driver. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Like you said, people wanted to show off a little bit, so it was one of those, I'm not like a show offish type person. Like sometimes you want to show off, if you feel like you look nice, you want to, but yeah, that was something that I just didn't think would be a big deal. And yeah, so yeah, you're right. People want to flex. So there you go.
With the data that you guys have, what's that taught you about collectors?
It's taught us several things. We can see historically when people are buying the most, when they're buying the least, what pairs surprisingly, people are buying more of. When people are tracking their wears, we can see predominantly what shoes people are wearing most often. Yeah, man, it's just all these things that we're getting a little more insight into that kind of helps, that we looked at, that helps us. And then, if we ever partner with someone, can kind of help them out, right? Because, yeah, like we could sit here and say, okay, this user tends to buy more heavily in the spring, and then towards the winter, it tapers off. Who knows what that could be, right? It could be maybe Christmas is coming and you're saving your money and you're focusing on gifts. I don't know, but we can kind of sit here and average out what the pattern of when people are buying stuff. And like I said, like what's most popular that people are wearing. You might think it might be Jordans and it may be New Balance, right? So we can get all that intel.
I like it. As of right now, I feel like, in the sneaker community and how things are going right now, I feel like the feature of, I would say, facilitating a release is becoming a thing. Have you guys ever thought about digging into that maybe, possibly?
When you say facilitating a release, what do you mean? Like
something like a equal what's the drop, everyday drop, or just kind of really facilitating. It's just like I don't. Maybe there's more science to it. I'm pretty sure there's more science to it.
Right.
That they just kind of host the raffle, host the release of it, just kind of like facilitate. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
Right. You know what? Here's what I will say. I will say Equal is like a genius product because at one point we were thinking, I'm going to tip my hand on this because it's not something that I think we're going to do. The one thing I like about Equal is one thing I hated is I want to enter into 10 raffles and I got to remember 10 passcodes. And that was a pain in the ass, right? It's just like, man, I'm forgetting stuff. So to be able to just do one and then I can hit across multiple boutiques or whatever, great. What we were trying to do before that came out was we were trying to have it set up to where we did something very similar, but you wouldn't even need to put your passcode in. It was just like if there was a way that you can log in and we have your credentials on file and we automatically upload your information into X sites, then that's what we would have wanted to do. So for example, you might say, hey, we might give you, let's say 10 boutiques and you might say, okay, I want to enter in raffles at Amamanier, at Corporate, at Kith and whatever. You check the box, you log in on the Unboxed, and then based on the size that you have in your profile and everything else, we can go ahead and fill all that stuff in for you and you're done. That's it, right? That was something that we had toyed with early on. The thing that the reason we kind of stopped and I kind of regret that we pulled back from it is the way we kind of looked at raffles. It's like, it's almost like selling false hope, right? Because you know, and that's the thing, like we didn't want to get into this business of, okay, let's go heavy in on raffles. Yeah, it's giving you opportunities, but how many people are really hitting on these raffles like that, right? So we just didn't want to give this sense of false hope. Now, I've hit on some raffles. I'm sure you've hit on some raffles. I know people who have. That's not to say that they don't work, but it just wasn't worth the squeeze to put all that time and effort into doing something like that. So we kind of pulled back from that concept. But Equal, I like what that product is doing. It makes a whole lot of sense. So
I mean,
to answer your question, we haven't really looked at trying to do anything like that necessarily. We're trying to own the space of organizing your collection, but then trying to add some other pieces on to make it of value to our users.
And I've seen, the negative feedback from like not winning a raffle. Somebody needs someone to blame. People need someone to blame, and it's never themselves. It's never anything else but the app. I've seen people like full blown crash out, because they didn't get a raffle. And I'm just like, that's interesting. It's always interesting to see, like, even with the sneaker app, when the raffles and you don't hit, like, I've never thought about like, I hate the sneakers app. Like, I've known people that just like, they're like boycott, like I will never use that app again. I'm undownloading. I'm not gonna download it. I'm just like, I mean, it's part of the game, It's just like that's how I see it. I just charge it to the game. Like if I don't hit the raffle, I don't get the pair. I just charge it to the game. It's just like, I mean, let's be honest. What shoe has released that we're never gonna see it release again? Like what shoe? Like what? Like I'm not talking PEs, not talking samples. Obviously, those shoes are technically not even released. I'm talking about a shoe that we've seen release that you can say confidently, no, this will never release.
Exactly.
I mean, we seeing what Wu-Tang, we seeing the Undefeated, we're seeing the Maros, we're seeing the Ben collection come back. We're seeing so name a shoe that just that's gonna be like it's never releasing. So this is the end of the world. This is it. I'm never shopping with Nike ever again. So so seeing that is always strange, but it's also just kind of like if you do enter that realm. Even if you're just providing the assistance, like I'm just putting your information there. I'm not even. People still gonna view it as like, if I would have entered through my my browser, I would have won. But because I'm entering through you guys, y'all gave everybody else the pairs. Even though you guys are not the ones running the raffle, I can see that. I can see that being it's because of you guys that I didn't win this raffle. People need someone to blame, so I can understand kind of.
Pivoting.
Let's just step back from there. But that leads me into my next question. There's a lot of product out there when it comes to sneaker, people that buy sneakers and are part of the community. And and I've mentioned multiple, like, have you guys thought about how do you guys stay focused and stay in that space of like, this is what we want to do,
Right.
this is what we're gonna do, without like, ooh, Equals doing this, or ooh, this guy's doing this, or
Right.
ooh, there's this, let's try this. How do you guys stay focused on like, this is our lane, and
Yep.
this is what we're gonna do for now?
Yeah, I think that the thing is, Flex, I think where we're at, we own that lane. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just really a matter of trying to get the community to understand why our lane is important and how it adds value, right? So if we sit here and start branching off and seeing what's becoming successful, then we kind of lose what the point of Unboxed was, right? And then we start to
Mm-hmm.
morph into something else, and who knows what that becomes, right? Because we still have people who love the product and have downloaded it for its main purpose, and that's to get your collection organized first and foremost, right? But it's not really hard. Like, we don't sit here and, like, I could say I've seen 2 or 3 other apps that pop up that organize collections as well, right? But they don't do
Mm-hmm.
it to the degree that we do. I do, like I said, Equal came out, and it's like, dog, it'd be easy to say, dang, we should have did that. But then it's like, we still feel that what we're doing is in a good space. So what we can't do is we can't start looking at what other businesses are doing and get sucked
For sure.
into this, like, oh, we need to change and pivot and do what they're doing because it looks like it's doing well. Because then we hurt what our product is, and we lose the value of what we stand for. So for us, it's just a matter of push along. And there are certain little things that we can add in, right? Like, so, you got Soul Retriever. They're the big dog when it comes to drop alerts, right? We sprinkle some of that in, but we're not trying to be Soul Retriever. They've carved out that lane, right? So we let them have that. When it comes to like authentication, we do a little bit of authenticating, but we don't try and compete with, check or, any of these other ones, because that's their lane, but we sprinkle a little bit in. So our goal ultimately is we want to be a one-stop shop that offers a little bit of everything, but the main
sure.
premise of what the business is, it's about organizing and understanding what's in your collection, period. If you're tracking your wares, you can sit here and say, hey, I haven't worn this in a while. I haven't worn this. We're tracking the market value. If the market value's gone up, maybe you get rid of it and get something else. So we're really trying to be that one-stop shop that has little bits and pieces of other things. But what we don't want to do is start branching off and looking at other people and then pivoting away. Then it just waters down our product.
I like it. I like it. As we see, StockX has just announced the listing that they're doing, where you can, buy, sell used and buy used. Do you guys ever feel like you will be able to have a feature where you can just automatically upload to sell on like a, aftermarket place, like, Go, StockX, something like
We
that, eBay?
we had so these are good questions, Flex. So that was something that we were toying with before. Everything that's set up in the app is for a reason. So the reason we partnered with a company to do authentication is because that's exactly what was in the pipeline at one point, and that was allowing people to upload, authenticate their shoes, upload them, and then sell them. And that's not to say that that's something that we're shying away from, but we see that we see like other spaces that are doing that. So it's like, we don't want to just kind of jump into it. We still kind of want to, it might be an offering that we sprinkle in, but we don't want it to be the main premise of what the business is. So I think it is something that at some point, once we kind of get to a point where we're comfortable and we've kind of grown, that it's something that we would explore doing. But from a logistics standpoint, there's a lot involved with that. And us being a smaller company, it's just, we just don't have the bodies to kind of make sure that that functions properly, right? Because the last thing I'm trying to do is get people on here uploading fakes and selling fakes. And then next thing you know, Unboxed is getting bashed on like some other companies that I know have pushed some fakes through. I don't want to be in that space, right? Like, I want people to have positive things to say about us, and we're trying to add some, legit value to the community, not known to be pushing fakes. So it's something that we're considering at some point. And like I said, we got the tools in place that if we want to pull the trigger, we could.
That's a unique thing about society and just kind of like perception. Because, I mean, no shade to shout out to the guys over at StockX. We know StockX had their debacle with fakes, and
Yep.
at one time there's nobody was shopping with StockX.
Right.
I love to see how people are so loyal to StockX now, because I do remember the time where it was like, do not buy from StockX. If you pulled out that tag, it was like, oh, it was automatic. Oh, those are fake. And then we went from like pulling the tag and it was automatically fake to pulling out tag. Oh, you spent some money. Those are, it's crazy just how people kind of forget and forgive. When I was going to school for business management, one of the things that stuck with me from one of my business classes was people pay for convenience.
Oh yeah.
It's not really the service.
Yep.
It's just the convenience of like, even just you paying for someone saying, "Hey, these are real.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you should wear these. Hey, you have this pair. Hey, this pair is worth that." People pay for convenience. I feel like there's a way you can come back, because I mean,
Yeah.
right now, StockX made the right moves. They put the right people in the right places,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a thing of the past. I mean, it's truly a thing of the past. People are buying with StockX. People are being ambassadors for StockX. People
Yep.
are StockX this, StockX is killing it. And so like it's when you see those things, it's like, dang, it sucks that happened, but it's not really no point of return. Like you can return from it. You can come back from it. But I can get why it's hard, because I mean it took them a while. It took them a while to really gain back that trust from consumers. And honestly, me still, I'm a little torn. I still I thread lightly when it comes to buying off of there. Just because I've seen the interviews. I still remember the interviews of people like, oh yeah, I need some money, so I bought a bunch of Travis Scott's fakes, sent them through StockX, paid my mortgage, and that's how I started my resale business. And these are resales that are still relevant and still active today. So again, perception and how people are so quick to forgive and forget. But let's fast forward 3 years from now. Soul Brother podcast is on the network. We're having this conversation again.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you hope to see Unboxed?
Man, I would like to see us where we are. The end goal for us is to not necessarily, the end goal, of course, is to be acquired at some point, but ultimately, I would like to see us partnered with one of the bigger brands, right? Whether it be like a Foot Locker, whether it be a Champs, whether it be a Dick's Clothing and Sporting Goods, or a Nike. Like, I think that our product offering, I think there are a lot of things that we can do if integrated with them that would help a lot of these businesses with direct to customer sales and promote a lot of community stuff, and it'll build a lot more trust with these brands. So ideally, I would like to see us, partnered with a bigger brand in 3 years and kind of just growing the business and thriving and adding more value to the community and adding some value to whoever that partner is.
Without, if you can share, like, what's a feature that you would like to provide to the current consumer?
Ooh, without saying too much, I'm trying to think, how can I say this without saying? Because we're working on some stuff. Like I said, everything that we're building is building up towards something bigger. Okay, let me kind of phrase like what we're trying to do is we're trying to, again, our product is all about promoting community, right? Like, you got, like I said, Instagram. We've met through Instagram. I've met plenty of people through Instagram. It's like a community, right? And so we're trying to create something, a feature that gives some insight into a person's collection and who they are, that be shared out to others, and it's going to create a lot of discussion. I know that's vague, Flex. Like, offline, I could tell you. Online, I don't want to tell you too much, but ultimately what we're trying to do is just kind of make something that gives intel to your collection, but makes it fun, right? Think about like trading cards, right? Think about Pokemon. right? Pokemon big thing, people are trading cards, stuff like that. So think about these Pokemon cards. Some of the information that's on those cards, hey, might be something that kind of is insight into what's on your collection. So it's like you're trading, you're sharing it out with, your friends and all that. So it gives more insight into your collection without giving away too much. So it kind of gamifies the experience. That's where we're kind of what we're.
I can't wait to see what you guys have in store. I feel like we spoke about. I feel like there's some untapped potential within the Unboxed app.
Yeah.
I've always seen that, and again, like I go back to the StockX thing, man. You just right people in the right places, and just it's just crazy how a product can go from people not, I don't want to do this, to like, oh yeah, this is crazy, man. You guys are doing, wow. Yeah. I love StockX. It's just crazy to see this, because I'm like, bro, I've been collecting and I've been online since 2015.
Okay.
And I can remember when these things were like, oh nah, we're not doing that. Right. I can remember when Kicks on Fire was one of the biggest blogs, and now to see it where colorways are wrong, dates are wrong, shoes release are wrong, and I'm just like, it still trips me out, because I think it's just my personal, me being biased to Kicks on Fire, because that's really my social media, online sneaker thing. That's where it really started from. Okay. So to see what that's become, it's just like, yo, in high school, you was a man, homie. Like, it's just, that's how I feel when I see it. It's just like, that's crazy. But we're close to the end of the episode, and I always like to end with a question that deals with legacy. Okay. So beyond creating a successful app, what do you want the legacy of Unboxed to be?
I just want, for me, I want people to always kind of look and say, Unboxed, and those individuals that Unboxed came into the sneaker community and the culture, and they were doing something that was positive and trying to bring everyone together, right? Like, my thing is, it's not about sitting here and trying to have the most downloads and generate billions of dollars and things like that. It's just really about ultimately getting people to buy into who we are and what we're trying to create, right? And that's, to me, the most important thing. It's not about, and I think that you'll see some of these products or groups or pages, it's clearly about money, right? And that's not what we're about. That's not to say that we don't want to make money, because it takes money to run a business and grow it, and do these features for people. But, ultimately for us, it's about creating a product that really brings the community closer. That's ultimately what I want. So at the end of the day, if that's what people are talking about, just kind of how you're talking so highly about Kicks on Fire, and things like that, it's like, if it takes time, and I want it to be where, 10, 15 years from now, people are speaking highly about us. Like, Unboxed, they came in and they're still going. And, I remember when it was here, and here's where it's at now. And it really did some positive things for the community. So that's ultimately what I want to walk away with. It doesn't mean anything if I wind up making a ton of money, but people are trashing the product, right? Like, my name's attached to that. Like, I started this from scratch. So it's like, that's just not who I'm about. But, if people speak very highly of the product and what we've done, then, I feel good. I feel good.
I like it. So what showcase shoe you have for us today, man?
Oh man, so I got two for you. I got two.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
So, unfortunately, they're in bad shape too. So my one showcase is my Concord 11. Like, this for me this is my all-time favorite Jordan. And I know, people talk about the Briz, they talk about the Space Jams. For me, this was and still is my favorite Jordan of all time. Right now, it's unfortunately separating, so I got to get.
What year is that? 11?
Yeah.
What year is that?
2011. And I know, 2011 for me, I like the low cut and patent leather. Like, I know people like the OG where it's higher patent leather cut. I'm just not a fan of that. I remember, what was it? Was it 2018? I think it was when they dropped again. I got them and I was just like, it's just not the same. And so I never wore them and I just got rid of them. And then I just kept wearing these and, clearly they kind of fell apart. And then my favorite pair of sixes, which same thing, these are falling apart too, are my
Those are varsity reds.
yeah, varsity reds. I absolutely love this shoe, man. And the fact that it's like crumbling, I can't do nothing with these, man. Like, absolutely love these pair. And I'm not a big, huge fan of black shoes, but these, like, absolutely love this pair. So, no big story with these. It's just, like I said, it's my favorite.
Just loving that pair.
And I just love them, man. Absolutely love them. So those are my
like
two
it.
that I got for you, Flexx.
I like it, man. I always had a special love for the varsity reds. I try to recreate that feeling with the infrareds, and I am not ashamed to say it. I hate the infrared sixes. I hate the infrared sixes. I don't understand the hype behind the infrared sixes. And yes, I know the story.
Yeah.
And yes, I know the lore behind it. But I still don't understand. I just hate the fact that just that slight hint of pink is in that shoe. It just I just hate it. I don't know what it is about, and I think just infrared in general, and that comes to just that colorway in general. I just dislike.
You're not alone.
And even though I want to buy them again because I got I believe it's 2015 pair with the Jumpman on the back.
Okay.
And I wanted to get the ones that came back out with the Nike Air.
Yeah.
And I was like. And it's just off the strength of the varsity reds. I'm like, those are pink. So why are you still trying to buy this pair? Those are pink. You don't like the color. So why are you trying to? So I finally talked myself out of, getting infrareds. And then I had a salesman sample. And I'm like, well, it's the salesman sample. That justifies getting them. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't like the color. You don't like the color. So I barely wear the pair that I have with the Jumpman on the back. I wear them sometimes just to get some wears in.
Yeah.
But every time I look at them, like, man, if this was just varsity red, it would be so much better. Like, just so much better.
Same.
But, with everything that's releasing, everything that we seeing releasing, I mean, it's only a matter of time before we see the varsity reds. It's only a matter of time.
So, because all this infrared coming back and all that, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, just give me that varsity red. Like, come on, that just
we got the white infrareds. I believe were just recently announced. So
yeah, next year. I think it's next year, if I'm not mistaken.
It's soon. It's it'll be here before we know it. But my showcase shoe is shout out to the guys over there at Saucony, man. They're having a crazy Paris Fashion Week right now. These are the Gridazora in clothing Saucony collaboration, inspired by Brain, like membrane, I guess.
Man.
I love the bottom of this shoe. Saucony is very creative with this part right here. This was actually like a stalk of corn on a raised by wolves, and here it's kind of just like that shape and texture of a brain, which is also on the insole.
Oh, nice.
And this came with one of the greatest stress balls I ever had in my life. Jason, if you out there listening, anybody from Saucony, if you out there listening, I would love to have that stress ball back again. My daughter got hold of it when she was younger, and I haven't seen it since. But this is one of the first Sauconys in my collection.
Okay.
So it always has like a special, feeling for me.
Nice.
Just to see what Saucony's doing now, the relationship that I've created with those guys over there, and just, still, I feel like this is like, I ain't gonna say like their revenge tour, but a lot of people were quick to say, once J-Tip left, that was it.
No.
And again, it could be me just being biased. I always kind of felt some type of way when people were like, J-Tips took that brand and put it on his back and made them who they are. Because I know the designers over there. I know, Jason and all these people over there that put hard work into creating those shoes and making designs and fabrics. And there's so much that goes into, creating a shoe.
Yeah.
So I was always like, like this is their moment, kind of like, all right, shout out J-Tips, shout out to what he's doing. Much love to him and what he's about to do with Nike because I know he's gonna kill it.
Right.
But I know that this is their moment. Like, I told you guys so. Like, we're a sneaker company. We're a shoe company for a reason. We've been around for a reason, and I feel like this is their moment. This is their year to do that. And no disappointments. I mean, just seeing off the hints and sneak peeks that I've been seeing from Paris Week,
Yep.
what they got coming up with West Side Gun.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm still looking for. I'm still. Uh, I enjoyed the pair that they showed. The Omni Nines that they showed. The spider web ones. Those are
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
But I'm really looking forward to those Jazz Nines. Those all reds with the scorpion on the side.
Oh yeah.
I'm really looking forward to those. I don't see a lot of people talking about those,
Yeah.
but that is the pair I'm just like,
That's gonna be nice.
that's the pair I want. So
Yeah.
you know, that's my showcase shoe. But before we close it out, man, do you have any closing remarks for the listeners and the people out there that's tuning in?
No, I would just say, for those of you who aren't familiar who we are, just give us a follow on social on Instagram and X under Unboxed_app. I just encourage you to, download the app, check it out. You get a free trial for a week. And just download, add some shoes, and start getting a little bit of insight and intel on your collection. Like I said, we're definitely out there trying to build something more of a community feel. There's nothing like our product that's on the market right now. So just I just encourage you to give us a try. It doesn't hurt to try us out for a little bit, and if it's not for you, completely understand. But I think we definitely got some big things coming and looking to bring people along on that journey with us. And appreciate you, Flexx, again for having me on and allowing me to share about myself and my journey and our product. Loving what you're doing, so keep going and thank you again.
I like it, man. Again, thanks for you, hopping on, giving me the opportunity, to have this conversation. Again, time is the most valuable thing that we can own. So again, when someone gives me their time, I'm always appreciative. I'm always aware. I'm always cautious of people's time. So, shout out to you. Shout out to Unboxed app. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store. I know it's some great things. Again, I've always been vocal, offline and online about the app. So can't wait to see what you guys are doing.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
And guys, that's where we're gonna end it. As I always say, love, peace, and sneakers.
Retro 7s, retro 3s, metallic silver, retro 11, sitting on freeze. They got so